Welcome back. In this video, I will discuss about double fertilization in plants. Few animations are included in this video to describe the event stepwise. First, let's see why this topic is included in your syllabus. Depending on the food preference, we can divide people into two groups, veg or non-veg. But whatever it is, do you know? About 87% of our daily energy requirement is fulfilled by plant-based foods like grains, vegetables, fruits, etc. In this video, we will learn how fruits and seeds are formed. Because of this, people have been very curious about fertilization since the day they started agriculture. As a class 9 student, it is very important to know the events that lead to seed and fruit formation, because later we will gradually learn how to increase food production to meet global food demand. So let's see how a plant transforms a beautiful flower into energy-rich fruits. The process by which a male nucleus fuses or unites with a female gamete is called fertilization. You have read before that most flowers contain both male and female structures. Let us revise this again. It is a complete flower, containing both male and female reproductive structures. The stamen is the male reproductive structure of a flower, consisting of an anther and a filament. The anther is usually bilobed and has 4 pollen sacs. You can see, in one lobe 2 pollen sacs are there. Inside the anther, pollen grains are produced. After maturation, each pollen grain contains 2 nuclei, 1 tube nucleus and 1 generative nucleus. The pollen grain is protected by 2 layers. The outer wall is called exine, and the inner wall is called intine. The male reproductive part is generally called the andrecium. Undero, meaning male, and ecium, meaning house. The female reproductive structure is called the gynoecium. It consists of the stigma, style, and ovary. The upper part is called the stigma. It is generally sticky and receives pollen grains during pollination. The style is a slender structure that connects the stigma with the ovary. The ovary is the swollen part of the flower. After fertilization, it becomes a fruit. Inside the ovary, you can see ovules are there. Depending on the plant type, the ovule can be one or many. The ovule later transforms into a seed. You have probably seen that some fruits contain one seed, like mango, while others contain many seeds like pea. Here, in this picture, you can see the ovary contains 6 ovules. Can you guess how many seeds will develop inside the fruit? The answer is 6 seeds. Like pollen grains, ovules are also protected by 2 layers called integuments. The integuments leave a small opening called the micropyle. Each ovule contains a nucellus, and inside it, the embryo sac is present. When the embryo sac develops and matures, it contains 7 cells. 1 egg cell and 2 synergid cells are present near the micropyle. 3 antipodal cells are present at the opposite end, and 1 large central cell is present. The central cell contains 2 polar nuclei. Now let us see how fertilization occurs. Pollination and pollen tube growth is the first step. The transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma is called pollination. Pollen grains from the same species survive, while others disintegrate. To transfer pollen grains, some plants depend on insects, while others depend on wind or water currents. The stigma is generally sticky and secretes sugary substances that favor the germination of pollen grains. The pollen tube grows out from the outer wall, or exine. You can see that several pollen tubes are formed, but only one is able to fertilize, the others fail to grow long enough. At the tip of the pollen tube, the tube nucleus is present, followed by the generative nucleus. The generative nucleus divides into 2 male gamete nuclei, also called sperm nuclei. The pollen tube elongates by dissolving the cells of the stigma and style with the help of enzymes. In second step, the male nucleus enters inside the ovule. The pollen tube finally reaches the ovary and enters the ovule through the micropyle, reaching the embryo sac. The tube nucleus, which directed the growth of the pollen tube, now disintegrates. The 2 male nuclei enter the embryo sac. Step 3 is called syngamy. 1 sperm nucleus fuses with the egg to form a diploid zygote, which eventually develops into an embryo. Let us understand the meaning of diploid. Inside every cell, the nucleus contains DNA. A cell is called diploid when the amount of DNA is double or 2n. A cell is called haploid when the amount of DNA is half or n. Diploid cells generally form body structures like leaves, stems, roots, and flowers. Haploid cells are found in reproductive structures like sperm, egg cells, synergids, and antipodal cells. The word syngamy is derived from Greek words syn, meaning same, and gamos, meaning marriage. Both the sperm and egg cells were haploid before fertilization. Therefore, the term syngamy is used. Double fertilization, second fertilization, is the last step. The other sperm nucleus fuses with the polar nuclei to form a triploid primary endosperm nucleus. The central cell already contains two nuclei. After fertilization with one sperm nucleus, it becomes triploid or 3n. The term syngamy is not used here because the sperm nucleus is haploid while the central cell is diploid. So, two fertilization events occur, one with the egg cell and the other with the central cell. That is why this process is called double fertilization. It is a special type of fertilization that occurs in angiosperms. After fertilization, the floral structures change rapidly. The petals, stamens, style, and stigma fall off from the plant. The ovary enlarges to form the fruit. The ovarian wall transforms into the fruit wall or pericarp. The ovule develops into the seed. The fate of each floral structure after fertilization is given in a tabular form in your book. You can expect a question from this table, so try to remember it. If you like this video, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe my channel for more. Thank you.